y'all are my people. Like y'all are really gonna rock with me, and I'm gonna really rock with you. And here's the thing, man, that I want you to get in your head too. Like it's not all gonna be pretty. Like it's literally not all gonna be pretty. Like me doing this episode right now, like it might be trash right now compared. Well, it is trash compared to where I will be a year from now. Like I plan on really growing myself as well as this podcast and something bigger than me. Like it's not about Mike Davis Jr. It's about helping that one person to realize that their dream is possible, right? And not just realize that it's possible, but after they get that realization, to do something about it, to just take that first step, whether it's purchasing a course, whether it is getting an LLC, whether it is joining the local entrepreneurship group, um, in their local community, or whether it's joining our entrepreneurship group, and where they can be held accountable. So it's not all going to be pretty, but it is going to be progressive. What's up, fam? Before we get into today's episode, real quick, I am building a community of entrepreneurs. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business leader, if you are a dreamer, I want you to be a part of this community. All you got to do is go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. That's it. I'll take it from there. This thing is going to be bigger than us. We are creating the ultimate accountability group, and I want you to be a part of it. Again, all you got to do is go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. That's it, fam. Now, let's get back to the show. What's up, good people? My name is Mike Davis Jr., and I am the host of the I Got Dreams podcast. Now, I am an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. That's what my wife like to call me. Like, I love entrepreneurs. I love business. I love owning business. Me, myself, I own and operate several businesses. I am a serial entrepreneur. But let me just dive a little bit into my story so you can understand a little bit about myself. So, growing up, right, like just like all the other kids, I was a football player, wanted to go to the NFL, all that good stuff. And when I graduated high school, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to be, right? Besides an NFL player, I had no idea what I wanted to major in school. But the one thing I did know is that I wanted to own my own business, right? When I was younger, I used to watch my dad like review these plans, like these building plans for a job, and he will always say, one day he's going to start his own business, and so that inspired me to want to start my own business. So when I graduated high school, all I knew is that I wanted to be a business owner. So I decided I'm going to major in business, right? So to make a long story short, well, just this part of it anyway. So I get a scholarship to play football at a community college in Mississippi. Shout out to Northeast Community College. Best years of my life. Um, After when I stopped playing football, I transferred to the University of Mississippi. So when I transferred, I was no longer playing football. So I had a whole lot of time on my hands, right? And so one day, I was just out and about on campus, and they were having like these tables, like sat out and all that stuff, for organizations, join this or that organization. And so I signed up for the entrepreneurship club at the university, right? So I get an email saying to come to their event, and meet the club. And so I went and I asked my roommate did he want to go with me, and so he went with me as well. So we both went, and man, it was probably the thing that really stoked my fire for entrepreneurship, man. Like it was a room full of people, like just openly discussing ideas, that they had, like giving feedback to each other, about certain ideas and things like that. And so I really fell in love, like right then and there, right? And so I really started diving into entrepreneurship. I started coming up with ideas like app ideas and all that. And so I came up with this great idea, right? And the idea was to have college students be able to vote on each other's decision, basically what it was. And so this competition came to campus. It was called the Startup Weekend Competition, and I threw my hat in the ring. I said I'm going to join and see what it's all about. So it was a 3 day competition from I think it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a 3 days competition. That's why it's called Startup Weekend Competition. So during that competition, we had to pitch our product or idea, and it had to be voted on by the peers. And so once you pitch it, like once you pitch your idea, once everyone finished pitching their ideas, it is then voted up on the students to decide which idea will go forward. And I think maybe out of like 20, 25 pitches, like only 8 were chosen to be worked on for that weekend, and my idea was actually one of the ideas chosen to be worked on, which I was grateful for. Right. So once your idea is chosen, you then are able to assimilate a team. Right. You have to assimilate the team. So for the people that were there that pitched their business that did not get picked, that their idea did not get picked, they could then be able to be a resource for your team. Right. So I assimilated my team. It was myself, my roommate, and one of my homeboys, and this other guy from another university, right? And so it was 4 of us total. And so that entire weekend, we worked on the business idea that I just stated a while ago. So we worked on that idea for that entire weekend. They were out and about talking to customers, getting their feedback about the product, but I stayed on the inside and developed what's called a minimal valuable product, a MVP. And essentially, a MVP is really just the bare minimum product that you can make of your idea to be able to put it out there and get feedback from people, right? So I created this product, this mock-up, the MVP, minimal valuable product. So I created that other app. So like I laid out exactly what the app would look like and how it will function, right? And so I did that like the entire weekend. And so on that Sunday we all got an opportunity. The 8 teams that were chosen, we got an opportunity to pitch that idea, like in front of a huge crowd, right? So I'm sitting there watching everybody pitch their idea, right? And people are doing great. Like these companies are amazing. And you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I didn't give enough credit to my idea because I'm like, this dude idea could really save somebody's life. That's what I'm just thinking. As they're pitching, I'm like, wow, I'm amazed. I'm a fan. And so when it gets to us, right? So we tested everything before we went up there, right before the competition ever even started. So everything was working fine. And so when we get up there and we start our pitch, I have my part, my teammates have their part, right? So as the presentation is going, right, it's going smooth. I think the presentation had to be like 5 minutes. So like the beginning of it was going smooth, and then it got to the point where it was time to show the minimum valuable product, right? Because we were excited, we were going to present it, it was going to be great. So we get to the part where it's the minimum valuable product, and that's my part. So I'm getting ready to present the product, and lo and behold, like the computer started messing up, right? And so we were trying to get it to work, but instead of wasting time of trying to get it to work, I just started explaining the idea, explaining how the app will work, and all of that. And so as I was speaking, a tech ran up on stage, and he did whatever he did and got the slides working again. He's like, okay, it's working again. So I was like, boom. I jumped back into the regular presentation and started presenting the idea, presenting the minimum valuable product, but we had lost so much time. We didn't get we weren't able to finish our entire presentation, right? So I'm upset. And not only that, not only did we not finish, so after the presentation is open, so like we had a panel of judges, right? I think it was like 5 judges. So we had a panel of judges, and they were supposed to ask us questions after the pitch, right? So, I'm like, granted, we didn't finish our pitch. So at least they will have questions for us where we can, fill in the gaps for them, right? These folks had zero questions. Zero questions. And I am pissed. I am like so mad right now. Like I can literally take somebody's head off. Cause I'm like, man, we just put in all this work just to not go anywhere with it, right? So I go back to my seat, sit down, watch the rest of the presentations, right? So once everybody finished, the judges deliberate, all that good stuff. Then they come back on stage. I'm doing my best to smile, and all that stuff, but it's not working for you, boy. Like I really couldn't front. And so next thing I know, like they started to talk, like tell who were the winners were. They did third place, second place, first place. And so third place, they announced da 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 team. Everybody clapping, cool. I'm clapping. Not really happy for them, but I'm clapping. And so then they said, well, second place goes to this team. So again, clapping. Congratulations, guys. You guys deserve it. But it was this one particular team that I was looking at, and I was like, they definitely got first place, right? This was the dude who came up with an idea that I thought could save lives, right? So I'm like, I know they won, like hands down. Like even I think even before they announced the first place winner, I looked at them and was like, it's y'all. You know what I mean? And so the judges, start announcing the first place winner, and they said, and first place goes to Imster. Man, I literally jumped out of my seat, like in so much joy. Like my team actually won the competition, and I couldn't believe it. And like it was amazing to me. Like I literally could not explain it. Like what happened. Like I was just so grateful. And so we literally won first place. Like man, like we did it. And that's really by the grace of God that we did it. Cause like I said, man, like the downfalls of like not being able to um finish our pitch, not being able to fully show the product, But what I think it was, I never asked the judges this, but what I think it was the work that we even put in before the presentation, right? So the work that we put in that weekend, everybody saw it. Like everybody would come to us, like they would walk by me, like, hey man, what you working on? I show it to them, they're like, oh man, that's great, So I literally think we had the competition in the bag before we even got out to present. That's the only way I could explain it. And the fact that, God works how he works. And so that moment right there literally solidified that I am an entrepreneur, right? Like that's me. Like I am an entrepreneur. And so I will never forget that feeling. And so from that competition, of course we won prizes and all that good stuff. But from that competition, like it really stoked the fire in me. I became the president of the entrepreneurship club. And like through my works, I was able to actually represent the University of Mississippi in the Southeastern Conference Symposium for entrepreneurs. And like, man, that was an amazing experience. And so I literally got a whole bunch of opportunities, like and it really all started from us winning that competition. We even did another competition where we received funding. We were able to create like a real version of the app. Got people to download it and all that good stuff. Like we were on the ball, man. Like we were rolling. And so I'm like, entrepreneurship is where it's at. And instead of trying to make sports and all that, like sexy, not taking away anything from them, but myself and my homeboy Pierre Whiteside, we really made entrepreneurship sexy at the University of Mississippi. Like, I don't care what nobody say, like we made entrepreneurship look like the thing to do. Like, and so that's really my story of like how I got into entrepreneurship, and like since then I've gone on to create several businesses, from app companies to transportation companies to motivational speaking to real estate. And so, like I said earlier, I'm an entrepreneur's entrepreneur, and like my wife actually gave me that title. Like, I just love um, being able to create freedom for yourself, right? Be able to set your own schedule. Now that don't, with that being said, that don't go without work. Like, you still have to do the work. Entrepreneurship is work, but it's work that I enjoy. And so that's one thing that I would tell anybody, is to do what you enjoy doing. Now, when I graduated college, right, I can continue on doing my business because I was a broke college student, right? So I had to get a job. So I spent 5 years after I graduated college. I spent 5 years in corporate America in information technology, right? So, and from there, I will take my money that I earn every month, and I will invest it into whatever business that I was running, like at the time, like constantly like chasing after my dream. And that's what it's all about, man, like just chasing after your dream. And so that's exactly why I'm starting this podcast, is to inspire you to just take that first step to accomplish your dream. Just take the first step. And this podcast will be the ultimate accountability podcast. Scratch that. This podcast is the ultimate accountability podcast. And so my goal is literally just to inspire you to take that first step, like to whatever it is, whatever you're doing, whatever that idea is that you got in your head that's just been sitting there. My whole goal is to get you to execute on that idea. That's it. I want to take you from point A to point B. That's it. And so with this podcast, I'm going to have guests come in. They're going to share with you their stories, their obstacles, how they overcame it, and also they're going to talk about like where they're at currently in their life, and we're going to hold them accountable to get into their future goal, right? To get into their future dream. And so that's how we're doing it, and like we're going to create the world's largest accountability group. That's what it is. And so that's again, my goal is to have you go from step A to step B, just from idea to execution. That's my whole goal. That's the whole point. Now, how this podcast will work, again, I told you I'm going to bring in guests to share you their stories, but I'm also going to come to you and like give you business principles as well that you can take back and implement in your own business, right? So every Thursday at 6 a.m., I'm going to drop an episode. Every single Thursday at 6 a.m., it's going to be an episode. Whether it's going to be me interviewing someone who I feel like is going to give you value, that's going to show you how to overcome obstacles, that's going to show you what it looks like to actually go after your dream, or it's going to be myself, whether we're going doing a book club, or just teaching you business principles, or any type of story or any scenario that's going to help you to just take that first step and reach your in reaching your dream. And so that's the premise of the podcast. So what I want you to do right now, after listening to this video, go subscribe. If you have Apple Podcasts, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Google Play. Subscribe to our Google Play channel, and we're on Spotify. So go and subscribe to the podcast, and be on the lookout every single Thursday at 6 a.m. for a brand new episode. And man, hey, like, and this is y'all are my people. Like y'all are really gonna rock with me, and I'm gonna really rock with you. And here's the thing, man, that I want you to get in your head too. Like it's not all gonna be pretty. Like it's literally not all gonna be pretty. Like me doing this episode right now, like it might be trash right now compared. Well, it is trash compared to where I will be a year from now. Like I plan on really growing myself as well as this podcast and something bigger than me. Like it's not about Mike Davis Jr. It's about helping that one person to realize that their dream is possible, right? And not just realize that it's possible, but after they get that realization, to do something about it, to just take that first step, whether it's purchasing a course, whether it is getting an LLC, whether it is joining the local entrepreneurship group, in their local community, or whether it's joining our entrepreneurship group, and where they can be held accountable. So it's not all going to be pretty, but it is going to be progressive. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be progressive, and that's what we want, right? We want to be progressive. But hey, that's all I got for y'all today, man. Hey, come back every Thursday, 6 a.m. We're gonna do this thing again. And hey, like us on like and follow us on all social media platforms at I Got Dreams Podcast. Like at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and content will be posted on there daily. We're gonna grow this thing again to something totally bigger than us, totally bigger than me. But hey, I love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. My voice just got scratchy because I've been talking for so long. But hey, I do love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace.